is good for the world. China and the United States both stand to gain from cooperation and lose from confrontation. We should be partners, not rivals. We should help each other succeed and prosper together and find the right way for major countries to get along well with each other in the new era. Mr. President, I look forward to our discussions on major issues important to our two countries and the world, and working together with you to set the course for and steer the giant ship of China-U.S. relations, so as to make 2026 a historic landmark year that opens up a new chapter in China-U.S. relations. I will pause here and hand over to you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Well, President Xi, I want to thank you very much. First of all, that was an honor like few I've ever seen before. And I think I was particularly impressed by those children. They were happy. They were beautiful. The military is obvious. It couldn't be better, but those children were amazing, and they represent so much. And I know they represent so much to you. You and I have known each other now for a long time. In fact, the longest relationship of our two countries that any president has had. And it's given me an honor. We've had a fantastic relationship. We've gotten along. When there were difficulties, we worked it out. I would call you, and you would call me. And whenever we had a problem, people don't know, whenever we had a problem, we worked that out very quickly. And we're going to have a fantastic future together. Such respect for China, the job you've done. You're a great leader. I say it to everybody, you're a great leader. Sometimes people don't like me saying it, but I say it anyway because it's true. I always say the truth. And I just want to say, on behalf of all of the great delegation that we have the greatest businessmen, the biggest, I guess the best in the world. We have amazing people, and they're all with me. Every single one of them. We asked the top 30 in the world, every single one of them said yes. And I didn't want the second or the third in the company. I wanted only the top. And they're here today to pay respects to you and to China. And they look forward to trade and doing business. And it's going to be totally reciprocal on our behalf. So I really look very much forward to our discussion. It's a big discussion. There are those that say this is maybe the biggest summit ever. They can never remember anything like it. I can say in the United States, people aren't talking about anything else. But it's an honor to be with you. It's an honor to be your friend. And the relationship between China and the USA is going to be better than ever before. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I always believe that our two countries
Hi, good morning and welcome to my morning show here. Today I'm gonna talk about religiosity reframes. I'm going to try and reframe you know when you have a hot shower and then you sweating, you know, all the things you're not supposed to do, bad lighting or bad sound. I don't have any plan. I am talking about things that are incredibly dangerous, historically speaking, and I'm also wearing women's clothes in an attempt to create, to basically just dive in and be like, what the hell is this? What on earth? And it's like, this, no matter what is being spoken about this gendered whatever thing, it's like, this is the requirement. And it's funny, it's like, what would you do for your country? And it's like, will you put on a dress? Will you put on a dress and bring up the 600-year history that's got us all in this situation? No. Well, then you need to listen to the person who's made that commitment, because it's like, it's at this stage it's dresses or intercontinental ballistic missiles, isn't it? At least in our little realm, which is what? Well, it's a realm of countries, as you know, the United Kingdom, which has recently referred to itself as that. It wasn't called that when my family left. Basically, the United Kingdom has a responsibility, has a moment right now, where if I'm not allowed back in, right, all bets are off. If I'm not allowed back into the United Kingdom and Australia's just basically, the Australian Labor Party's basically just declared war on every asset holder in the country. We're in a fucking mess. And why is that? Well, because the fucking king isn't here. His son isn't here. What's his son doing? His son's flying around the world creating a pseudo-religion of fucking climate change. Yeah? He's spending millions and millions, probably billions of dollars in positioning himself as the pagan king of fucking gobbledygook. And he's sitting on a stolen fucking throne in the first place. Right? The whole argument is like, is there environmental things that need to be fixed? Yes. Can you fix those environmental things when you sit on a stolen throne in a fucking vandalized kingdom of absolute disgusting fucking proportions, and you have a fucking stalled out sitting prison colony thousands of kilometres away with someone yelling at you in a dress? No, you can't. So get the fuck off that island. Can you fix those environmental things when you sit on a stolen throne in a fucking vandalized kingdom of absolute disgusting fucking proportions, and you have a fucking stalled out sitting prison colony thousands of kilometres away with someone yelling at you in a dress? No, you can't. So get the fuck off that island. Listen, that's not directly to Charles. Charles is the king. One doesn't speak to the king like that. I'm offering an opportunity. There is no two ways about it. In any history of any of our kings, in any of their lines, in any of the history of our thing, if the fucking people there found an island the size of the one that I'm currently fucking yelling at on, there is no way they wouldn't have left. No way. So where are we? You know what I mean? Has anyone ever thought of that? You know, if you're driving around in a fucking Hyundai i30, right, and some magical fucking genie comes along and says, "Would you like to swap that car there for this aircraft carrier with fucking Porsches and jet skis coming out of it?" You know, you're going to be like, "Yes, of course I will. Yes, of course I will." Now, where am I? Well, I'm on that fucking aircraft. And where is Prince Willie? Where is Wee Willie Mingo? I don't know. Nobody knows. His dad's fucking slooking over on a fucking crown, on a throne. You know, his wife's in Italy. I think it's time to play a bit of, you know, intercontinental fucking Twister, if you know what I mean. I'm quite fond of his wife. I've got a feeling that she's quite fond of me, which you might sneeze at that because I'm currently dressed like this. Again, what would you do for your countrymen, for your kingdom? Yeah, I didn't create this environment, but possibly some of my ancestors had a big play in it. So I'm trying to mop up the cultural societal mess first off, because I have spent 15 years actually understanding what's required to do anything. Now, just like, you know, Billy the Kid, I am concerned with the environment. I'm concerned with these concepts. All these things. It's just I'm down here in the godless fucking hellscape. Right? My only job, you know, rediscovering my historic religion all the way back. You know, I went through room of the Church of England for a moment, and then I found that there is a beautiful fucking landscape on the other side of that.
Some pills, but not some help from love junkies in the private hell. I wanna know you frail, green light, red line, and I don't feel fair. I lost a life a long ago.
And when I look back, I just see a big fat cunt that fucking burnt a lot of buildings down. A big fucking terrifying fucking axe swinging lunatic. Okay? And then the most substantial period of peace and prosperity in our British history. On the other side of that, on the other side, I see a lot of, you know, things. I see this organisation that did a lot of the things that the government now does. You know, the government basically being like, I don't know, the office, you know, the office equivalent of Charles's staff. And it's like, we all know what that family does and expects of its staff. So it's like,
isn't this just one of those classic film filters, like light through the blinds?
This is actually the way I've achieved this, is that there is sunlight coming through the lines. There's a couple of shots. I think there's a shot in the top. Just after they get it on, they use this shot. It's a pretty famous effect. That's just a bit of movie trivia, just to break it up. Trivia, knowledge of these things in all different environments is like important. And in this digital, sorry, stuck in my throat. In this digital age that we're now at, everything just got a lot harder. So everybody has an incredible amount of homework to do, and I'm guessing that none of them want to do it. So for that, there's going to be mass resignations or mass submission that they have completely ill-prepared and not qualified to do the job that they couldn't handle. Well, that's what people lie on all the time. Every single demographic of every single region on this country known as Australia is now a hotbed for international incidents. So every single thing is going to have to be taken into account. And it appears to me that Labor, by force and by threat and by corruption and by lying and by monopoly and by every single thing that is gross in the world, has created a digital Australia that they are governing. But as my example now, where I will go and raise an army from Plymouth and I will invade Coventry based on the individual actions of a particular UK resident, now Australian citizen, that has done all these things, which enacts my bloody fury onto a region in a country that I've never been to. Whilst standing at the front of a party that now claims that it's anti-coal and anti-wool and sheep, despite this being the very birth of that party. I think we can cut the fucking cord now and say that we're in hot air territory. The hot air balloon is floating in the air and it needs to be brought down. A lot of things have changed, but also a lot of things haven't changed. Coal, iron ore is what built Labor. And sheep, wool. Commodities. What's the commodity of the current Labor Party? It's socialised social products. Teachers, nurses, police, hospital, sanitary, all these things. That's what it is. So draw the line around it and we'll start a new country right outside your boundaries. You have made a communist state. You've made a communist country. Now draw the line around it so I can leave and still live on the land base known as Australia. There really was no other result. This was always going to happen. Floating entity down in the ocean that doesn't have any historical thing, but it does have historical. There's a lot of work being put in to the infrastructure that you're sitting in. So what are you producing? Hospital staff, teachers, has education gone up or down? Has health gone up or down? It's all gone down. Down, 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 down. Not from the standard. But that's a strange metric because the standard of education towards agricultural pursuits has almost vanished. And that's what we need. So you've homogenised the Australian people in order to lead them. That's not anything to be
You built a really machine and you're the operator of that machine, and I don't want to be anywhere near that machine. I'd still quite like to live in the continent that my family arrived here 180 years ago and did not do that. So what are we doing? I don't want hospitals. I will die in a fucking field. And this is the thing, ready? I've said this tons of times before, hospitals. The idea of a hospital comes from a war time. Now, who were the hospitals operating on? Victims of war. And who were doing the operations? Women, the nurses and the doctors. That worked. So in order to keep your system going, you need to be in a constant state of war. And because it's a Ponzi scheme, you need to continuously make us sick in order for your machine to work. You need to pile coal in to the machine. The coal is not the coal. And now you've kind of blown all
Tacitus presents the Britons as being ruled over by women, a sign of weakness in the Roman world. What is also interesting
I know nobody wants to be dealing with this right now, you know what I mean? I know you've worked your way up to this House of Commons, or you're sitting in the House of Lords wondering what you're going to do with all your fucking acres of chestnut fucking topiary, or, you know, whatever. I fucking don't know. I know it's concerning for you to have, you know, an individual that's so uncivilized, you know, attempting to reclaim the historic ties between Rome and England, which is basically, you know, a war. But it's like it's the same, but it's different. Okay, it's the same, but it's different. And if we move, see, I have no, like, I will sit and fucking, like, Charles will be a literal fucking appendage, you know. There's no reason. Charles is a wonderful person. He's doing a wonderful job. Camilla is a wonderful person. She's doing a wonderful job. She's been fucking savagely destroyed by this momentary media broadcasting disgusting thing. It's like they're wonderful people. They're a wonderful couple. It's not about that, right? It's about moving that prince, right? Attaching him, putting him with the other, you know, mouthy Toms like Williamson and fucking Smith, and I don't know, and everyone in, you know, from basically from where I am, from, I don't know, Joondalup up north, you know, there a lot of strong English representatives, right? But they're representing a particular slice of English history. You know, it's the really the godless socialist slice. You know, they are celebrating the glory. They are still carrying on the fucking cheer and merriment that Edward, King.
Is the way the tone of these accounts changes over
Henry. That Henry established. But it's like, it's time to move that. You know, it makes sense. It's like, shall we gather the constituency of godless Poms with, and shall we place them with their you know, pagan monarch in waiting, with their pagan heir? Shall we place them down on the big rock in this beautiful sunshine, right? So that they can all work out what for, and shall I go back, right? And back to that island.
On this day in labor history, May 5, 1931, striking coal miners and police officers in Kentucky engaged in a bloody gunfight known as the Battle of Evarts. The organizing miners from Harlan County and Bell County decided to go on strike following Black Mountain Coal Company cutting their wages by 10%. Even before the cuts, they could barely feed their families or find work in Depression-era Kentucky. Local rich elites, bosses, and the police fought against the miners and their families. Company houses were burned down, scabs were brought in, even a mine got blown up. Tensions came to a head in May. Miners prepared to ambush a motorcade of supplies set to go to strike-breaking workers. A single shot rang out, but nobody knows which side it came from. Sheriff's deputies got out of the motorcade and began to fire. Over 1,000 shots were fired during the 15-minute battle. Ultimately, the Battle of Evarts left 2 policemen, a striking miner, and a store clerk dead. Many more were injured. The battle caused thousands more miners to join the strike. This battle kicked off the Harlan County Coal Wars, which lasted all the way until 1939. The wars ended with the coal companies finally agreeing to allow unions in their operations. The Battle of Evarts was an instrumental spark that ignited a much broader struggle in the labor movement of the 1930s. The militant miners at the heart of the struggle played a revolutionary role in building better jobs for workers everywhere.
You know, I'm recognizing our pagan history, but it's our true pagan history. It's not this global monstrosity, climate change fucking nonsense. You know what I mean? It's not that. It's the traditional paganism refined through the Catholic Church. I can't believe it either. You know, I have really been at war with the Catholic Church my entire life. And it turns out that I wasn't.
You might ask at this stage, what am I selling? I'm selling whenever someone's doing anything at all, you should ask yourself, what are they selling? Everybody's always selling something. Usually, I don't want to get into the specifics. There's lots of things I'm selling right now. But mainly what I'm selling is the concept that human dialogue and communication should be the higher and this verbal. Person to person if possible, but unedited, unscripted, focused dialogue should be the gold standard of any action, any diplomatic action. That's it. So, within this environment, sometimes I put songs on, that's to make an effect, and that's because I'm going up against a long period of time with trillions of dollars have been spent in the industries that I'm trying to uncover the depths of the potential wrongdoings that they participate in. So you've got to fight fire with fire. But when you dig right down to it, this is what I'm selling. I'm selling that this is where we need to be. We need to be here. So it is my very strong suggestion to any influencers out in the metaverse that they should strongly analyze all relationships they are already in, or are maybe coming up to, or are thinking about doing with any type of medical, and this is the whole field from top to bottom, products or services in the next year and a half. Because it's not going to go well. If you are an individual that wishes to put your face behind something, mine's easy because I'm putting my face behind putting your face behind things. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you're going to sit in a bed, like one of our most famous representatives of Australia's daughter has just done, and give a little shout out to the hospital and the doctors and things like that. I don't want to see that without an advertisement next to it. That's an advertisement. I don't care what the arrangement is. You're not bridging this gap between your benefit system and this system anymore. And this should go across the board. This should be football players, everything. This already applies because they've made it that all influencers aren't allowed to use their own anecdotal evidence to sell any product. And so that applies to the entire medical industry, to all professionals, from top to bottom, all products, all services. We're not having reality TV-esque influencers littering this landscape that's already been so littered that it stopped the entire world for 2 years. It's over, folks. It's fucking over. If you've done a degree for 5
You know, that's the power of this shit. That's the power of this English, this Church of England. You know, and basically the Church of England really is. It laid the groundwork for this current corporate idea, that this capitalist corporate thing. It is what it is, right? And now we have a kind of a king, a useless king, his useless son. You know, a bunch of politicians scrambling to the top, and nothing happening anywhere else, because it's a race to get to the spotlight. Because that's what's required. Exposure. You have to have exposure to get things to be capitalistically, corporately distributed at high levels. That's what we've lived through. This is the Elvis King Kong dancing bear fucking era.
In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees, and the voices
and it falls down to one concept. When you hold a high standard and you appropriately distribute it, with respected authority figures in each local region that have a common goal, but also have independence to operate, under a set of codes and conducts held in our Bible, right? The rest is a lot easier.
And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, then the Bible will lead us to reason.
If you're attempting to kind of scribble, like, reactive conceptual laws somewhere and then pipe them down and then have this army of enforcers of this law, that's way different. England was best displayed, I think, by that show. Oh God, what's it called? The show Heartbeat. Obviously it's a bit oversimplified, but it's like there needs to be circles around these authority figures. Like
Okay, I think I want to just clear some things up. I did some maths, and it turns out that Abby Chatfield was 29. I guess I thought she was maybe like 22, 21. Considering that she's 29, that would mean that I was 9. And that is definitely, I was definitely not old enough. So Abby, I don't think it will be my daughter. Yeah, I don't know whether this is good news or whether this is bad news. I just guessed, I saw it, it's complicated. Maybe you're my cousin. Maybe we're not even related at all. I guess it's just in the wind that we should probably have a chat. Sorry, my maths. I'm not very good at maths. Are you good at maths? Okay,
And 36 is the extraordinary, the Frank Lloyd Wright, the double pedestal lamp commissioned for the Susan Lawrence Dana House in Springfield, Illinois, designed circa 1903. Extraordinary object showing on the screens. And I'm studying the bidding here at $2,500,000. At $2,500,000, $2,600,000, at $2,600,000, $2,700,000, at $2,700,000, $2,800,000. Or the Frank Lloyd Wright at $2,800,000. At $2,800,000. You want to come in at $2,800,000. At $2,800,000. $2,850,000. Someone had to start. $2,850,000. Thank you very much, Jodie. It's your bid. $2,850,000. Jodie Pollack, of course, the head of our design division based in New York. $2,850,000. With you at the moment at $2,850,000. At $2,850,000 and selling, of course, at $2,850,000 for the land at $2,850,000. Selling at $2,900,000. At $2,900,000. Strike through. It's Courtney Crane this time at $2,900,000. Thank you.
yes, there is a priest.
Get hot.
Don't get bogged down in those details like that. There's a meeting.
What do you ladies
think of it all like now?
think you could possibly hit me with that I haven't seen before?
That's why I try to swear and do things. It's like it's not pop, you know, it's not this ultra whatever. And in a lot of ways, what's misunderstood about the Church of England's establishment, it's like that they were claiming basically that the Catholics were like radicals. That's the thing. They're like, oh, they're like superstitious radicals. You know, they're basically hippies. This is what I mean. This is where you can't. I mean, unless William's, you know, ready to become a Catholic, which is I don't know. In that case, then I guess something else would happen. But the problem is, it's kind of like this traditional, the way that this orthodoxy of climate change hysteria is going on. It is in opposition to all religions. It is social. It's communism. It's communism's, you know, baby Jesus. You know, it's like a baby. I don't know, polar bear, basically. It's a baby polar bear on an iceberg that's melting somewhere that you've never been and never even fucking heard of. And then right next to it, there's a baby polar bear, you know, thriving on another iceberg that hasn't, you know, been sufficiently whittled down by just random chaotic interactions with the ocean currents and temperature. You know, it's like.
The stage, 2 red lights and a dodgy PA. You trod the planks way back then, and it's strange that you're here again, here again. And I wish I knew the right words to make you feel better. Walk out of this place and beat them in your secret battle. Show them victories take on the pain. It takes so long to earn. You can double up or you can burn. You can burn.
We can select
and shine you the right way to make you feel better.
This film, but it turns out they were just throwing cats off a fucking cliff. It's really important to understand what's going on behind the camera, okay? And unfortunately, this prince, you know, is relying too heavily on what's going on behind the camera, but not being appropriately discussed. And there's a solution. He needs to come down here. He needs to get a suntan. He needs to sit on the beach. He needs to, you know, be a divorced dad in Australia, because that is a significant portion of the people that he is supposedly supposed to represent. See, it's not difficult. It's like, I go there, I set...
Bet you never seen your mama when she's covered in blood from the gush of your dad leaking in the back of your car. These packets of jars of habits let me heal in the corner. Only scattered, having trouble trying to deal with the trauma. Have you ever seen your best mate mix hate with his gear till he's screaming and you're watching fucking sleep with his fears? These fake as fuck friends, yeah, they're nothing but a major bug. Wake 'em up, Lucifer got 'em and now they're slave for drugs. Been a wasted kind accustomed and I wonder binge. Bust 'em for another snort, rushed it like a gust of wind. I'm drunk sipping and she speaking says it sounds demonic. Twitching for a bit of taste of liquor like an alcoholic. Or have you ever seen your bitch in a rage and trying to kill herself and left behind like Nicolas Cage?
I thank God for this life, cause I'm old a man with folded clamp. My fame's gonna make a dime. Pretty sure I never give 'em one or found a fuck. I'm out of luck, whatever that I take is mine. A dose of drugs to heal the pain isn't real. I lost time, need a guide just to make it out. This anxiety is feeling like a heart attack. I can't relax, I think that I'm breaking down.
Trigger my rage, I'm engraving his pad with my pen. With these addictions I don't know that I'll be Cameron again. Yeah, I'm back, but I'm going backwards.
Australia.
Have you ever had a smash or swing a bat in the park?
Have you monarchies, right? You have to kind of elbow yourself in and remind everyone that that's exactly where we've always been here. It's just he's here now. He's here. And who's back there? Well, you don't want to fuck with the person that went back there, just quietly, okay? And that's how we need to keep it. Right, I, unlike the Windsors, actually have my fucking name on that place. I'm actually the traditional owner of that place. Those Germans are not. Nein, they're not. They never have been. But they are the owners of this place. You know, it's like a fucking, it's like, if you know Christmas, you have that secret Santa, it's right. And unlike the establishment of the church, so there is divorce. This is way better. This is a way better scenario. This sort, because otherwise, the only thing that we can rely on is that a balding, middle-aged Englishman is going to maintain some type of fairy tale perfect fucking marriage while being bombarded by fucking young, horny fucking women across the entire fucking world. You know, and it's not a good representative of the thing. And this is what creates this Prince Andrew situation. You know, you try and find a loophole, and loopholes will be exposed, and they'll be used, and it's like, this can't happen. But
hang my head, drown my fear, till you all just disappear. Black hole sun, won't you come, wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come. Black hole sun, won't you come, wash
if our wonderful prince, comes down here, well then he's leading the charge and he's clearing the land, not literally. In fact, he can put all of that environmental concern into addressing the fact that too much of this land down here was cleared in order to keep all of you ponds warm. Get his feet and fingers in the soil. Do the thing. England has some environmental stuff to do, right? But there's too much decree. And that's not the type of man that I see in world. I see a man that wants to actually do the things. And down here, there is just thousands and thousands and thousands more damaged land, more degraded land. And it just makes sense. And I'm sure there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of young Australian women from all different backgrounds that would quite like to, perhaps put their name in the hat for William to. And this is real life, okay? This is real life where we can somehow learn that no matter what happens, right, there should be, and this is at least in the ideal of the British Empire or the United Kingdom, whatever it is, whatever united front we've had, William, he's my brother, William is my brother. A brother is supposed to help their brother through a divorce, and everyone's supposed to come in there now in our modern day, reformed, because both religions are reformed, both the Catholics and the Protestants. Now the Catholics don't agree with divorce, but I've never been divorced because I've never been married. When you shift the frame, but I wasn't raised as a Catholic, I was raised as a hideous, abandoned Australia, Church of England, fucking, through the farm, it's too messy. And you can't have that. And unfortunately, so whose fault is it? Well, it's those Windsors' fault, and the Parliament that they sat over is fault, and it's stretched out because you wouldn't let us establish here. And the reason for that is because one day you wanted to make this jump, and now I'm fucking building you the fucking drawbridge, cunt. You're gonna have to learn how to say cunt. I can't wait to hear William say cunt publicly for the first time. It's gonna be like when South Park, but way better. Imagine. There's so many things that need to happen to get us all in the same room. In my absolutely never-ending, research and scholarship into the dynamics of all of these things, this is the only solution. Quite literally, it's this or it's just absolute chaos. And I think it's like I do believe a little bit in fate and religious, thing, and it's like there is a level of calm. Like I can see a moment where it's like, and it's not just for myself. There's two individuals that are doing a thing, and it's driven by lots of different forces and lots of different, interactions and probably like historic tensions and ties, tying back. And there's this like, I am very confident that the next 100 years of our history will be delving into this unknown phenomenon of this like cellular genealogical memory, like a bit like Richard Dawkins' selfish gene, but it's like I think it's a lot more dynamic than we thought. It's not a selfish gene. In fact, it's the complete opposite as far as I'm concerned. Nothing I've done is out of selfishness. It's not that at all. It's the complete opposite. I can get myself to positions and do different things. It's like, in fact, it's like nothing I am doing is because of selfishness. That's the point. It's that basically throws that entire theory in the bin. It's not a selfish gene. It's a very it's a dynamic gene of memory. The unfortunate thing is when we experiment with this multiculturalism, which is necessary, what we do is we establish an inner conflict in every person based on my understanding, you know, from my own interactions with this thing and observing other people. So we're all in a bit of flux. It's like William is standing sitting, waiting to be on the throne that does hold responsibility for Australian, you know, European, British occupation in Australia. He needs to be here. He's got to fight that war. That's the war he's got to fight. You know, it's like that's his direction. He's going godless. I was born there. Okay, I've done that fight. I've cleared a lot of land for it because he's my brother. Because he's my fucking. He was my king. I've respected every level of that until I find that, well, it's going to put undue pressure on all of us, including the Americans, if something like this doesn't happen. It's like between his father sitting there and going digital ID, you know, ignoring publicly the fact that I basically just developed digital ID, which is nothing of the sort. It's localized, like, reputation. You know, that's how this was built, and that's how this needs to stay. If these tech companies are going to try and squeeze in and put fucking barcodes on us, we need to smash the fucking windows of those places. You know, you want to destroy a fucking monarchy, you fucking continue on the way you're going. You want to step into the responsibility, you do what you need to fucking do. You come and fight the fucking war, which is a diplomatic, you know, agreement. You need to, yourself, personally, deal with the traditional owner circumstances down here and the migrant situation down here as their king. The king of Australia. You know, a bald British man. You have to fucking do it, because we're not going to fucking do it anymore. And it's too important to lose. You know, it's like certain parties in England have just kicked everyone out, done back-end deals with the Australian governments, they've all worked for themselves, they're all taking back-end deals with China and religions floating around and trying to peck everyone off. It's like there is a clear order. England needs to be what it was. It needs to restore itself back to the bones that are sitting there, you know? I'm no longer going to sit and watch as England is perpetually, you know, profiteering from tourist attractions that display the most horrific fucking time period of English history. You know, you deteriorate our wonderful traditions back down to fish and chips and fucking and double-decker buses. And Rod Stewart now, fuck that. Rod Stewart has a wonderful, you know, life in Australia. That's the point. You know, perhaps, you know, Rod Stewart, arm in arm with Prince William, can come down to Australia and do their fucking job. And I just can't see anything else happening. You know, this European Union intervention into Britain, it's like, well, that's restoring Britain. It really is. You know. We can't have this kind of this pretend thing going on with this concept. You know, the Catholic Church is quite open to LBGT and all these things, but I think it always was, personally. I think it was, but it's about the discretion. Right? That's what it's about. It's about whatever happens behind closed doors, because that's where they live. They lived behind closed doors, and those doors were kicked in, and boulders were thrown through the fucking walls by King Henry VIII. Perhaps a fucking distant ancestor, I don't know. But it's like, it needs to be undone the way that it was done. Okay? You can continue Henry's legacy, the Church of England's legacy down here, but you have a job to do. You know, the Catholics are already down here, and the extreme communists, the leftists, the Marxists, the Leninists, and the pagans, the bogans, everything is down here waiting to, you know, for a king. And it's quite literally what is required. You know, you've got all that fury, all these, you know, all these St. George flag waving, bald-headed, you know, neo-Nazis. You know, what are they going to do in England? we've got to stop thinking of England as like a trophy. It's not a jewel in the crown. It's a huge responsibility, right? It needs to be. It needs to dig itself deeper into tradition. You know, but find the, and it's like basically it's like, well, we dig out, you know, the only way to do that is to rediscover the Catholic Church. You know, to draw an unimpeded line from England, or actually from Scotland, all the way down through France, you know, around Spain, Germany, down to Rome, and reconnect that entity. You know, that's the European Union. It's like, well, I guess we need to start calling it what it is. I'm the last person in the fucking world that I would have expected to do this. But it's these false religions. You know, dentistry being exposed yesterday. Dentistry is idolization. It's a smile. You know, and I think particularly it's something to English. It's some Britain has some type of weird thing to do with their teeth anyway. They're weirdly self-conscious about it. So it's like that's where it started from. You know, it's there, and it's driven probably from like scurvy, from traveling on ships and things, you know, whatever it is, because we're an island. You know, ocean travel was part of our history. Now, there's a part of me that's going to stand in Scotland and make sure that those fucking Romans never get in. That's my job. It's just that there's this little patch in the middle of England that's presenting this image of England that I think belongs down here. You know, I think it needs to make amends for the fact that it built itself based on the ridiculously high levels of outlay by pioneering families down here, and then it just fucking abandoned us. It pretended we didn't exist. We fucking exist. You know, we gilded those fucking thrones. We paved those fucking streets. Every single fucking thing. I'm not talking about the new age social worker on, you know, on high wages doing some menial I'm talking about the place, the whole place. You know, it's like the weight of that crown is better served down here. You will do a better job for all of your subjects down here, will you? But there needs to be agreements. There needs to be your perfect fucking image needs to be taken down because it's bullshit, and it's what every single real man, you know, which is what a king needs to be, even if he's wearing a dress, is fucking cannot stand any longer. You know, we don't want to resort back to some type of domestic violence, you know, ultra thing. That's not what this is about. We need the example. What we're dealing with across everywhere is this divorce paradigm. I am taking responsibility for my family's, you know, exposure to that. I never got married because I didn't want to get divorced. Right? That needs to be understood as a pathway. It's a different pathway. We've had that in our pagan traditions. I'm not so sure whether we had it in our Catholic tradition, but that's the places that we need to be in. We don't any longer need these marriages to be held up, you know, and whatever it takes, because whatever it takes is going to come out. You know, we need honesty from our figures, our high up figures. because everyone's bullshit radar has basically been supersized. We're going to sniff this out. You know, there is a massive amount of British single fathers down here. There's a massive amount of children of British single fathers down here. There's you in a lot of ways were you're the poster child of divorce, really. You know, it's like the what is it, the face that sunk 1,000 ships. Well, all those things, it's like, that's, we know. But the problem is like, your mother was not the first. Okay, your mother was the last, or maybe you're the last. The concept of divorce is what is fueling every single bit of this tension, because basically in my situation what it comes down to is discipline. Okay, if my children's mother, the only reason she's here is because her family were dispossessed from Ireland and a religious conflict between Protestant and Catholic was elevated there, right? So they independently migrated to the British colony of Australia. You know, they put aside their differences, which should be celebrated. Had children. You know, one of them died. Yeah. But now we have no religion. None. No religion. No, there is nothing governing the actions of my children's mother. Now she's a victim of that. You know, that it makes sense. It's like, well, the religious conflict and thing that we both came here, we're both basically atheists. Atheism is not a religion. It's a waiting room, right? And unfortunately, the person that preys on people in that waiting room is the devil. Yeah, I think if you think of like Beetlejuice in the waiting, that's kind of what it is. It's like purgatory. It's like that's where all the sin comes in. If our governments are profiteering from that sin, alcohol, drugs, medical dependency, all these things like disciplinary, judicial controlled private prison, all that stuff is like, well, you've created a fucking anti-religious monarchy. You are. It's like, and that's a big accusation, isn't it? It's a big accusation unless it finds itself in the right place. That's down here. This is the big godless rock. And I've done a lot of work on holding back that fierce fucking pagan Aboriginal energy. It has two sides that flip. It's either all helping or fucking I'm gonna kill you. That's it. Right? That's what you want. You want to celebrate this fucking pagan bullshit, then this is where you belong. You belong down here. You are supposed to be at Ayers Rock crying with the Aboriginals. You are the head piece of that. I'm sick of holding up a responsibility that is being, conveniently just, I want to go back there and have no more worries. I've done everything I can down here. I want to hold my position against Rome there. I've got two empires to push back, really, but it doesn't ever work completely like that. We don't need to, it's like, it's a slow journey back. When I look at it, we think of like, where did the Druids go? Where did the Celts go? They saw the light. They saw the thing of Rome. It's like they were made the clergy. They were made through the monasteries, through the abbeys. It's like it's all there. It's the same. It's like basically like we were like putting rocks and being pagans, and then the Romans come. They're like, no, same place, beautiful building, different slightly. Oh yes, like the concept is like it's not war. Whenever I think anyone is like, we don't know where the Druids went, it's like they became the next thing. And that's what we've always doing. It's like this is the same age. It's like we have the ruins of the abbeys, instituted by your forebear, not literally, of course, because we all know that you're not from that line. But it's like you're in the seat. You're in that seat. You're in the house. Yeah. You got to take. It's the ghost of Christmas past. It's like that's there. It's knocking at your fucking door every night. I guarantee you, it will be. You know. And now you've got down here. You cannot thread this fucking needle. You can't do it. Those buildings that stand, you know, that people charge money for, and the ropes around them, and the roofless, windowless fucking got like monuments of doom. They need to be repaired. You know, we're not in the Mesopotamian, Babylonian ruins of some Middle Eastern, you know, ancient civilization. We're right there, and I know how to do it. I can see it, and it's like, well, I can see what happened there. Some drunken fucking Vikings basically destroyed all our fucking druidic Christian Roman Empire fucking monuments and social systems. And now we've got some, you know, woke hippie fucking, you know, delinquent getting ready to sit on the throne. It's like, there's no way that's going to happen. And I think you need the Australia treatments. Like, Australia just will tell you. They will tell you straight. I know there's some politeness to England and all these things, and I intend on fully absorbing that. But I'm down here and you're there. This is a problem, right? Australia needs an injection of British culture through you, and I can bring too. I can bring an injection. Remember these injections? An injection of Australian resilience. You know, the appropriate story that, oh, we'd sent people away, and of course they're welcome back. Of course they're welcome back, because they are quite literally the traditional owners, and they've been forced to raise their children and listen to 40 years of propaganda about this traditional owner concept. Yeah? You are the traditional owner of Australia, so start acting like it. You're a delinquent fucking landlord, you know? And now you've got an army of delinquent landlords that are all being fucking, you know, put up on fucking trial. You know, you fucked our fucking system. You sat in bullshit fucking tax havens and things like that, based on whose example? Some git in fucking England. You know, stagnation. Stagnation. You know, which is another way to talk about Great Britain. Stagnation. But I'm not going to battle you, right? I don't want an Australian Britain. I don't want a Australian British Australia. That's fucking retarded. You know? This stag fucking bullshit is retarded. Let's bring that word back, because when it needs to be used, it's there. You belong down here on the big rock, and I belong back there on the old little rock. And it's that simple. There should be no other disagreements, because I've obviously defended you at the highest level. And I assume that there's at least some type of protection onto me, because I'm still here. I'm still walking around. I'm still alive. But it's time to make that step. You know, if there needs to be a gesture, I think I've quietly discussed the gesture that, you know, might be appropriate, and I think it's a promising, you know, pathway forward, and, you know, a pretty nifty little fucking loophole to do, you know, to live a way that I would certainly, you know, enjoy if the shoe was on the other foot, if you understand what I mean. But it's like, these are things that need to be done, not because of some type of false, you know, is this what's culturally relevant right now? You know, that's not what we're talking about. Okay, we're going to walk slowly through the little blockade of protesters. You know, you don't understand. We're dealing with a huge chunk of time. You know, we're 1,000 years of avoidance. You know, in one kind of agreement. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. It lays the foundation for a lot of prosperity. You know, remember what your mother or your grandmother said. It's like queen first, then fucking wife, then da-da-da-da-da. It's the same thing. And both you and your wife make that. And that's, you know, that's where I've been in my whole life. It's like there is no discipline, there are no laws. It's like laser tag. You know, that might sound funny, but it's like, what is our system? It's laser tag. You know, laser tag is like harmless, yeah, that's the point. But it's like people don't play laser tag the way that they have a war. And this is what's going on with our laws right now. It's like our laws are laser tag, right? Cops and robbers, laser, yeah, scan your barcode, put you in the pen, scan your barcode, put you in the pen, discipline, go, and Annika Wells, go to a fucking disco dance party, Prince William, fucking make a little documentary, make a video, laser tag, no one's getting hurt. But it's like that system is all bullshit. It doesn't do anything. It stops everyone. You know, imagine it's like you're constantly just getting laser tagged everywhere. You're getting scanned by Amazon barcode fucking warehouse workers, and you can't. I'm just trying to. Oh, hey, I'm trying to establish that. I'm trying to bring awareness to the fucking Abbey monasteries of disillusionment. Oh, shut up. Beep 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 beep. Supermarkets. You know what I mean? It's like you built that. You know, people in London, people in Westminster, people in the palace. You built this. You built this supermarket fucking shit. Beep, 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 beep. And it doesn't work. You know, and it's like I understand the foundation there. It's like those places need to be restored to what they were. Which means that the official, you know, monument of order needs to be re-established, and that is not you. It is not your policemen. It is not your politicians. It is not your law. It is the pre-existing system. You know, it's like we think of a chessboard. We see the king and the queen and the bishops and then the knights, and it's like we need every local place to have that same agreement. It's like the council is the king and queen, right? There is a bishop on either side, which means there are, you know, two religious representatives. You know, if there is a particularly atheistic region, then we need to start establishing atheism as a religion. That's for you to follow. You want to try and do that down here, you try and do that. Really, like honestly, it's a task that is so incredibly dangerous, because it's basically like imagine a dance festival and turning all the lights off and then setting off fireworks. That's what you're trying to do. You know, what I'm claiming is that needs to be declared as terrorism. I don't want the heir to my historic kingdom to be a terrorist. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm lighting the candles and saying, you know, turn that fucking DJ shit off, and like we're gonna fucking clean this shit up. You know, if you want to continue the party's down here. I'm living in a party house that you paid for, that you provided. You know, a big debt-filled party house. It's basically like an entire fucking gigantic yoke attached to a single mother. It's how you roll. I don't know if anyone's told you that. That's how you roll. All these fucking crocodile tears about your mum. It's like you have fucking attached a fucking wagon, you know, and blinders and a fucking nose ring to every fucking young single mother in this country, and they're just dragging the weight of your opulence around. And little fucking tuk-tuks. What are they called? What are the Chinese ones called? Anyway, it's not acceptable. You know, I think we all know it's like we're going to get this done. This is a way to do it. It's like you need to build an Australian crown. It's a hell of a job. It's a hell of a job. But you can do that, and at the same time you can do the environmental stuff, because that's where it lives. And how do I know? Well, because I got removed by police who had immigrated here from Ireland to protect a godless pharmaceutical fucking experimental lunacy fucking atheist experiment, and I was prevented from putting a rock onto another rock and planting a fucking hedge. Could there be a greater example for what you have done, or what your family has done, or what your avoidance has done, or what really, to really get to think, what all of our forebears have done in this experimenting, opulent, atheistic fucking expansion? That's it. It's just we need to stage it. There isn't a taste for this type of thing in Australia, where this is where, as I said, this is where the party is. I've seen you and your brother going to all these parties. I'm not a big partier. That's what's supposed to be there. It's like that. It belongs down here. There is a lot of work. Like we need to basically, I don't know, clean all the fucking clean up all the glow sticks, all the cans of fucking lager, and it's all going to be welcome down here. There's no way that this is going to hold any other way. Yes, it's like it's like you are here. Rather than us having this patsy prime minister, it's like we're going to have a king down here. Yeah? He's going to be working, very closely with China, obviously. You know what I mean? But we need a king. China, we need a king down here, and William is our man. Right? And in the same way you're going to protect him to get down here, you're going to protect me to get back there, and then you're going to fuck out of all of my shit.
Of friends, and together they've learned a lot. Like clawing your way to the top is tough.
If you grew up in the 90s or the early 2000s like I did, there's a pretty good chance you remember this movie. Milo and Otis was a 90s classic and a staple in many households across America. The film was originally released in Japan under the name The Adventures of Chachirin. Other than the film being cut to better suit a child audience, the American release is not much different. As of today, the movie has grossed over $100 million across Japan and the US combined. The film is about a kitten named Milo and a pug named Otis. The film starts on Nippon Farm, where a mother cat has just given birth to her litter of kittens. However, Milo is extra curious and loves getting into trouble. During his adventures, he finds a pug named Otis. Not long after meeting Otis, the two become inseparable. That is until Milo is whisked down a river in a flimsy wooden box for an intense game of hide and seek. Otis runs after Milo, and this is where their first big adventure begins. The creator of the film is a man named Masanori Hata. Hata was born in Japan and graduated from the Tokyo University with his master's degree in 1959.
Very closely with China, obviously. You know what I mean? But we need a king. China, we need a king down here, and William is our man. Right? And in the same way you're going to protect him to get down here, you're going to protect me to get back there, and then you're going to fuck out of all of my shit. You're just gonna get the fuck out of all of my shit. If you don't get the fuck out of all of my shit, then why would you ever expect us to get the fuck out of your shit? You know what I mean? England, Great Britain is my Taiwan. You want to lay the foundation for a one China? So, well, you need to give me one fucking Great Britain back. And you need to help me get these fucking usurper bullshit fucking artist Germans off the fucking island and reunite them with their cohort of fucking pommy gits down here. You know, with their pill-popping fucking DJ fucking pommy fucking poofta parade. I've got a job to do. I would quite like to walk with my new, perhaps, if it's not too forward, my new girlfriend, perhaps walk from England, obviously a little ferry trip, and then walk down to Rome, and just survey something, just be like, get a feel for it. Be like, walking. This was built by walking.
Hada was a trained zoologist, and he worked as a documentary filmmaker producing nature films. He moved to the eastern coast of Hokkaido to establish the Mutsuguro Animal Kingdom Nature Reserve. This is where he and his family would live with over 300 wild and domestic animals. While living there, he decided to work on a passion project. Over the span of 4 years, Hada and one of his associates had shot over 400,000 feet worth of film. The resulting film about the adventures of an orange tabby cat and a pug was released to Toho in 1986 as a kitten story and was the highest grossing film of the year in Japan. Soon after, the film was adapted by Columbia Pictures in America to better fit a child audience.
Suddenly he heard something moving in the bushes. Was it Otis?
It wasn't built by... It wasn't built by the... It's built on foot. It's a really good way to travel. It's good for exercise. I really like doing it. I explained yesterday, I was like, I want to live somewhere where I can walk 3 hours a day and see something different.
Not long after the film's release,
and that's the highest level of selfishness.
Founder of Animal Liberation
I would like to be
accuses the creators of injuring several animals and killing over 20 cats during the creation of the film.
Walk for about 3 hours a day and do something productive. And I've basically decided that means I should probably walk from Scotland to fucking Rome and just have little conversations along the way.
Any of the scenes look too real to be
I don't want to fly around the world trying to fucking, to build.
She wasn't alone in her thinking either.
Containers.
An article published by the UK's Economist pointed out.
Because I understand that it's like, containers
many of them have to do with being soaked to the skin, falling over a waterfall on a wooden box,
yeah, because a plate, and it's like,
from a cliff
to eat off a plate.
It's hard to see how he survived.
Cultural
Indeed, according to Japan's biggest animal rights group, he did not. Or to be accurate, a third of the 30 milos used
a community level example. I sit down with people and eat off a plate. I don't make fucking ice creams at a fucking franchise, in a paper cup. I want to eat off a plate. I want to speak to the person who owns it. And then I want to walk to the next place and do, So that's how we live.
Hughes did not. It's hard to ignore these claims as well. As you watch the movie, you'll notice numerous scenes that show animals in distressing situations. At the beginning of the film, the mother cat and her kittens are confronted by a large snake. The tension builds as the cat defends her young against the snake, but the scene cuts away before any outcome is revealed. This becomes a recurring theme throughout the movie. The moment a scene becomes concerning, it abruptly ends. This can be seen with Otis's fight with an angry bear. Okay, so quick editor's note. I noticed this while editing the video. If you look at the original bear fight scene, you'll notice that right here, it cuts during the fight, and Otis just runs away. But if you look at the deleted scenes, that's not actually what happens. If you compare the two scenes, you'll notice that Otis starts to run away, but instead of cutting, him and the bear still fight. So I'm going to play the original scene that made it into the American release, and then I'll play the deleted scene right after so you can see the comparison.
Sometimes a dog's gotta do what a dog's gotta do. Suddenly, Otis started swimming away and said to himself, "What am I doing? That bear is 10 times my size." And Otis came up with a much more sensible plan. He ran up on the riverbank, leading the bear away from Milo. It worked. The bear followed him and forgot all about the orange cat in the floating box.
Obviously, Australia is different because it's really big. You know, it's really big and it's really simple because, you know, that's what was required to maintain this wee willy winkle fucking kingdom all so far away. You know, and it's like, I can't wait to see, you know, a British middle-aged balding man in board shorts pretending to be the King of Australia. I can't fucking wait. But although that is something that should be mocked, it is something that should be mocked far less than what we are currently having to deal with. Some type of floating pretend fucking king that basically rubber stamps whatever it is our fucking retarded politicians dare to fucking conspire in their devious, corrupt fucking little dungeons. You know, the Governor General just isn't cutting it. We need someone with balls. Big, brass, British fucking balls ready to squirt in fucking some little fucking broad down here and make a little Australian prince or princess. That's what we need. You know, we basically need to put it on hold. We need to say, listen, all bets are off. All the heirs, apparent heirs of both houses are void. Done.
He ran up on the riverbank, leading the bear away from Milo. It worked. The bear followed him and forgot all about the orange cat in the floating box.
The fight is shown in detail with the bear relentlessly attacking until it pins Otis to the ground. Suddenly the movie jump cuts to a clip of Otis escaping the bear into the woods. You never truly see Otis escape the bear's grasp. Whether the cameraman broke up the fight or something awful happened to Otis is up to speculation. There are plenty of scenes throughout the movie like this. Some are worse than others. A few of those scenes include Milo being attacked by birds.
Because they were manifest through this period of sin. Leo, have I got back? Yeah, which means that they're annulled. It means they're illegitimate marriages. They're illegitimate everything. They're illegitimate. No claim on nothing. Every single place. Australia, UK, done. You're on your own. If you want to complain, you complain to your governments. You have no title, no claim over any fucking property or anything like that unless it's already in your hands. Isn't that fucking interesting? What does that mean? It means you need to negotiate. Written. You have no fucking historic claim. How could you dare? This system of divorce basically has put you in cannibalistic fashion, you know, quite literally at the hangman's fucking lever with your parents or grandparents sitting on the fucking throne, on the platform. It doesn't make sense. Nothing wrong with your children, nothing wrong with my children. As I said, I've suggested a fucking solution, for you at least, to try and do something. And in my case, it's like, well, I guess, I'm in the same boat. And how do I know this is all gonna? It's like a little birdie told me. I saw a vision. I saw a vision of mother and baby, and it stopped me in my tracks, and I saw the future of my kingdom. I saw the future of my kingdom come, and at the same time, or the future of your kingdom come, right? And isn't that fucking interesting? What does that mean? It means you need to negotiate. Written, you have no fucking historic claim. How could you dare? This system of divorce basically has put you in cannibalistic fashion, quite literally at the hangman's fucking lever, with your parents or grandparents sitting on the fucking throne, on the platform. It doesn't make sense. Nothing wrong with your children, nothing wrong with my children. As I said, I've suggested a fucking solution, for you at least, to try and do something. And in my case, it's like, well, I guess, I'm in the same boat. And how do I know this is all gonna? It's like a little birdie told me. I saw a vision. I saw a vision of mother and baby, and it stopped me in my tracks, and I saw the future of my kingdom. I saw the future of my kingdom come, and at the same time, I saw the future of your kingdom come. Right, but it requires a brotherly agreement in civilizational stability and order and communication. You need to up your game in communication. And I need to up my game in civilization. I need to practice with you in talking, in public. The people need to see the outward limits of acceptable discourse. As we cross paths, that's what's important. There's no hate here. You'll understand this yourself. It's like, I am speaking from the design systematized degradation of the Australian reputation. That is what you piped out with far larger, pump than what we have down here. But counterintuitively, I bubbled up all the way through all of that fucking shit like Shawshank Redemption and fucking ended up fucking spotless. And that's what happens. Don't fucking spread shit that you can't fucking deal with. That's it. This is a stronger system. This is a stronger from top to bottom. Every region stronger, more identifiable, more focus on community. Not communism, community. It's your job. If you don't fucking want to do it, then step the fuck off the podium. I don't know whether it's just the system, whether it's politeness, whether it's with the British upper lip, whatever, stiff upper lip, whatever the fuck it is, it's preventing you from appropriately being, declared your list of responsibilities. This is it. Your responsibilities are to the people. I know it's trendy at the moment to look past the people, but that's always what elites have been accused of doing. I look past the people over their heads. I will care for the chipmunks in the trees. I will care for the butterflies. You're doing the same thing. You've just created a new fucking trend on how to do it. It's like you're looking over the people, which makes the people feel like you're going to kill them all. Can you blame them? You should be looking at the people. You should be looking at them with fucking grazed knees and mud on their fucking shoes and all the shit that you fucking pretend play school with. Yeah, and going, oh my god, if I put the people where the fucking chipmunks are with the right example, then golly gosh, they're gonna do the right job. I guess my job as the monarch is to look at the people and not over their fucking heads. Would you agree? Would you agree? On that note, I will also declare that obviously this was a impossibly difficult bullshit fucking task that your entire family was presented with for the last 120 years or so. It's impossible. So, again, all things absolved. I absolve you, my brother. You're forgiven. 10 Hail Marys if you want, or 10 Hail Ularoos, whatever you wish to do, you know? But basically down here we need to declare that, like, the colonisation of Christianity to Ireland was to civilise the Irish people because they were savage. Like, can we get to there? Are we allowed to be there? They were savage. They were killing each other and doing horrible things. Yeah? So Christianity that's why it's the great redeemer. It's the example. It's the whole point of it. Oh, this young fella died on a cross instead of fucking beating his wife and fucking drinking himself to death. Oh, it's fucking really hard to keep doing that when you're giving this example. Whatever fucking particular flavour, right? Christianity civilized us all, even the Druidic fucking Burning Man fucking cohort. Right, so it's like, that's where we are. All right, okay, all right. So we need to identify that the ridiculousness of allowing a region of Ireland, whichever part of it, right? So Ireland, we cannot allow Christians to be provoked constantly in conflict on the island by basically a fictitious divide between the same exact religion, and then allow them and provide, you know, migratory pathways and you know, financial remuneration to migrate down to a godless fucking rock and hold up and unite under some, again, pagan, godless fucking savagery of absolute degraded fucking societal norms, you know? That's sun worship. That's what it is. It's like, that's like sun worship, not the sun. You know, that's again, it's like you look over the people's head and look at the sunset, right? You look at the person, the people are who we deal with. We are people. Everything we need to do is dealing with other people. That's what Jesus is. He's a person that died. He's not some glowing fucking orb that controls the fucking clock of your destiny. He's the literal mortal dead prick on the thing. And his example makes it harder for you to fuck up. But what makes it easier for you to fuck up is if you allow this, like, this do-over concept. I come to Australia. No, I don't fucking care about religion anymore. I just fucking sat and drank. The priest just sat there. No, can't find me down here. The king can't find me down here. Oh, I'm Ned Kelly. Fucking look at me. Stupid. Again, your responsibility. I've done a lot to try and fix this. This atheist bullshit is the whole point of Christianity. It's the entire point of it. You know? And it uses these systems like Christianity. It's old and boring and wretched and it smells like mildew. You know, it's not like the pub that's old and boring and cold and it smells like mildew. It's exactly the same. You know, it's like that was used. It was like that was other, right? It was othered in order to do this. It's funny because it's like it's the whole thing of like, how did you create Donald Trump? And I like Donald Trump, but how do you create Donald Trump? You destroy religious like piety. You hold up this archetype of like frivolous, exhibitionist, materialist, you know, gaudy, fucking whatever, splendor. You know, I love Donald Trump because it's like, well, he did it to the full level, and that. You know, that goes in history books. All the little, you know, subordinate fucking tryhards that tried the same thing with AstroTurf and fucking and wine barrels in their fucking courtyards or whatever. Like that's disgusting. It's like the anti-religious fucking expansion is just as easy to declare as old and weird and shit. You know, and as soon as you consider that it's like it's a spiritual enlightenment, so it's like, well, all of the wonder takes place here in your spiritual communion with the world, right? And it's not really my responsibility to kind of to bring that. It's like, well, it's in there. I went in that building. Which I didn't, but I read this book about this guy, and my life got better. You know what I mean? I can still swear, I can still fuck, I can still gamble if I wanted. I can still drink, all the things. It's just like I don't want to as much, and it's way better, right? So it's like anti-religion, this anti-religion that is basically like a bonfire that's being stoked every day by the neglect and avoidance of every Australian citizen, is the religion of Australia. You know, it's like, and it's paganism. Woo! We're back, and it's like, don't look at the back of the festival. You know, don't go to the back. Like, keep your eyes on the DJ and the lights. Don't fucking wander out and have a piss on some hay bale and watch. So I came here. Some fucking drunk fucking underage person being gangbanged and raped, you know, sodomized by a bunch of delinquent fucking alcoholic fucking brain dead fucking psychopaths. It's paganism. Whoa. You know, the king's got to come here. That's his job. Your father is maintaining his throne, the representative of the Church of England there, right? In order to make you. Shall I take it from you, Charles? Should I send your son down there to deal with the dance festival that he's created? That's his job. You know, it's like, basically, imagine what would we do if we could get a hold of Andrew Tate. You know, Andrew, you've got to go clean up all this shit. You've got to go like Tony Robbins your way around the world, you know, and try and appease the disgraceful image that you've got, like just like fucking Russell Brand is doing. have no doubt in anyone's mind that Andrew Tate is going to be the Russell Brand of the next fucking decade. Of course he is. That's what happens when you fuck up. When you don't fuck up, you get to swear at the king. You know, it's like that. It's that kind of thing. You fuck up and run a fucking campaign of de-evolution. You gotta fix yourself. You gotta go and clean the mess up. This festival bullshit down here. You know, there's only one person for the job, and that's my man, Prince William. Prince William, heir to the throne of all of Australia. All hail the King of Australia, King William the First of Australia. Obviously not of Tasmania, just quietly as well. I said the big rock, not the little rock. I need that little rock to keep an eye on you, to keep an eye on all of you, to act as a haven for if this British, ultra-British invasion becomes too unsafe, you can go to Tasmania. I think that's brought an end to the business of the day. Basically, to summarise, the anti-religious movement is to be immediately, appropriately declared as King William's current. I'll just fix that because I accidentally said Australia kill William. That's that dyslexia. I'm sorry. Movement is to be immediately, appropriately declared as King William's current. I'll just fix that because I accidentally said Australia kill William. That's that dyslexia. I'm sorry. Oh, look, it says King G. King. Australia, King William I. Just want to make sure that I didn't... Imagine that, the weirdest typo ever. It's like he gets down here and Australia just kills William. Which I'm sure there'll be a little bit of concern. There's nothing to be concerned about. Don't kill your king, idiots. It's basically this. Do you want to have King William I of Australia, or do you want to have Pauline Hanson I of Australia? That's it. That's the only decision you need to make, right? It's A or B. We're not at a McDonald's drive-through with 1,000 choices and boundless time to just sit there and fucking have the engine eye. I mean, if you haven't made a decision before you get to the window, then you're not getting anything. That's it. Do you want King William I, or do you want Pauline Hanson I? King Pauline I. Is it ironic that Pauline is like the feminized version of Paul, which is, I'm sitting in the house of Paul, and my mother is sitting in the house of Paul, and the house of Paul has been the most disgusting fucking, example I've ever seen, and is basically bullshit. So I know where my vote is. It's for King William I of Australia. This is the deep and dying breath. And then I guess I will do what I do best and go and, take up the yoke of this illegitimate marriage failure and restore a degraded thing and reconnect on foot a wonderful relationship. And it just becomes, basically it's like, when they say like you go down to hell. Yeah, you go down to hell. It's like now that this has been established as the anti-religion it's paganism, but it's paganism and it seems to be Satanism, really. It really does seem to be Satanism. And I guess that now it's clear, if you're in Europe and you want to fucking, I don't know, whatever. It's like Australia's the place to go. It freaks me out. I don't want to think about it. And then if you go too far south, you'll end up in Tasmania, and you'll realise that you've actually found the home of the devil, and he's called a devil, and they're going to send you back up. Get back up there! Go on, get the fuck out of here! You don't want to know what's going on down here. We're actually fucking English. It makes sense. It's like a fence around the fence. It's like you want to know the place, and this is what makes sense for all these digital IDs and things like that. It's like basically all the digital ID energy needs to come down here to the prison hall. Because that's like what you can imagine. It's like you go to a dance festival, you get some type of bracelet, and it's got some type of SD card in it. So that you can press a button if you're getting raped. If you can cobble together some brain cells. I'm getting raped. Help me. I'm getting raped again. I'm getting raped by this fucking pagan example that Prince William was making sure wasn't fixed. I'm getting raped again. That's a place where digital ID makes sense. You'd think that's the first place it would be instituted. We don't need digital ID on that England, Great Britain, because we have really established traditional history. And as I said, your king's about to walk, and King's going to walk from England or Scotland down to Rome. I'm not going to barcode myself.
I organised things and I rang Mum at recess and told her, and she cracked a bit excitement. I'm directly performing arts.
Hello, I'm here. I saw it in the guest book. Shannon. Beautiful architecture. I love those windows. I'll document the whole thing. That's how we do it. I'll check in the guest book of the monastery or of the cathedral on my way to Rome from Scotland. Whatever the fuck you want to do down in Australia, that's up to you and your new king. Alright. Well, hopefully that's brought us all up to speed. I'm going to go and do some stretching and some tidying up and cleaning up and getting ready to obviously sometime soon and put this whole ridiculous period behind me. And I look forward to a restored British Empire, to a restored Christendom, to a restored social order, to a restored physically dominated, but digitally fluent society of upstanding ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.